One more thing from the Fever's preseason win over the Washington Mystics. I've talked about the toughness and tenacity that the team has added. This was a team that got punked at times last year, that got pushed around at times last year. And you saw that in a few ways. I already talked about Sophie Cunningham and what she brought to the table and what she brought from a toughness standpoint just in this game. Spicy Sophie Cunningham, you could call her because she was out there. She was feisty, she was fiery, and all that. But one of her teammates also had her back. There was the moment with Cunningham and Kiki Iriafen where Cunningham got thrown to the floor. It was a foul. It was wound up being a flagrant foul, I believe. But you could see it here and a little bit of there you go. And Smokey said, "Nah, nah, nah, not so fast. You ain't gonna do that to me." Getting back into the picture there and making sure, it was known that she wasn't to be trifled with. But there was another moment in the game where Cunningham was thrown to the floor by Brittany Sykes of the Mystics, and it wasn't a malicious play or anything, but, one of those plays that happens in the midst of the game where she was tossed down, and what you notice is DeWanna Bonner had her back immediately. DeWanna Bonner backup came right to her defense, and this is another player who the Fever have added that is gonna bring support around their stars. You see Bonner saying, "Nah, what are you doing right there?" Getting right in her face. This is not something that the Fever had in the locker room last year. And Sophie Cunningham talked about it after the game. She was asked about it after the game, and I thought her comments were telling because it's the kind of thing you want to hear from this team as they grow together and as they get ready to be battle tested while the season rolls along.
What did it mean to have DeWanna step up for you in that moment like that?
Man, I'm not surprised. Actually, DB was my bet when I got drafted out to Phoenix, and so I know she's not a fighter, but she's not scared to get with it a little bit. And yeah, kind of random thrown to the ground. We kind of need to hit the weight room. That's not good. But she had my back, and I think that's what it's all about, right? I think we have a huge target on our backs. I don't think that's a secret. And so making sure that our locker room's like this, and that'll naturally flow onto the court. And I think you guys saw that today.
A huge target on our backs. Obviously, the Fever, the most hyped team, the most talked about team, and now a team that has some protection within, right? Some support within, some toughness within, which bodes well for once Caitlin Clark is back on the floor because you're now surrounding her with the talent. Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston were there before, but the toughness as well. And I'm sure that is something Fever fans were thrilled to see.